Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie entitled Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Let's get straight into the storyline. The movie begins by showing Eggsy, who has just come out of a shop. However, he is confronted by his old enemy, Charlie. Not only alone, Charlie also brought an army to take revenge because Eggsy almost killed him 1 year ago. For additional information, Charlie is a failed Kingsman agent candidate and is very jealous of Eggsy. Seeing the arrival of his enemy, Eggsy pretended to surrender. When Charlie was caught off guard, Eggsy immediately turned the situation around. Apparently, Charlie has turned into a cyborg who has a robot hand. As a result, Eggsy looked a little overwhelmed. Apart from wanting to kill Eggsy, Charlie also intends to steal all of Kingsman's data. However, of course, Eggsy will not let that happen. After knocking Charlie out, he led Charlie's troops away from the city so as not to endanger civilians. And to find a shortcut, he asked for help from Agent Merlin, who was one of his mentors. Then, on the way, Eggsy threw everything he had into slaughtering the criminals. When he had defeated them, Merlin told Eggsy to immediately hide by sinking his car in the lake because there were still many police around the lake. And to get out of that place, Eggsy had to go through a sewer hole full of dirt. At the same time, Charlie's severed cyborg handpiece moves and steals all the Kingsman data in Eggsy's car. Long story short, Eggsy has dinner with his girlfriend Tilda, and she turns out to be a princess from the Swedish kingdom he saved in the first Kingsman movie. Here, he has inherited Harry's apartment and decides to stay there with Tilda. The next day, all the Kingsman agents in the UK hold a meeting to discuss last night's events. The point of which is that Charlie and his troops are members of a criminal organization whose name is not yet known. But what is clear is that they have a golden circle logo. Then, the scene moves to an island in the middle of nowhere. We are shown a drug mafia kingpin named Poppy, who turns out to be the leader of the organization and Charlie's boss. She has been building a secret organization called the Golden Circle for a dozen years. This group has the largest drug business in the world. This time, Poppy is looking for a new member, and to test his loyalty, she tells him to put the bald man next to him in a meat grinder. Without thinking, he immediately grabbed the man and followed Poppy's orders. After successfully undergoing the test, Poppy sends him to the salon building. In that place, a robot was programmed to remove his fingerprints, and then tattooed the golden circle on his body using hot gold. After he was tattooed, he returned to Poppy. She gave him a burger made from the bald man's meat. Then, she forced him to devour the food as a sign that he was officially a member. In the evening, Eggsy had dinner with the Swedish royal family. Apparently, Tilda invited him to the palace so that her boyfriend could get along with her parents. As an honorable family, the king also tested Eggsy's knowledge, ranging from math and economics to history. But Eggsy managed to answer all the questions with ease. Unexpectedly, behind his achievement was Roxy, who was ready to help Eggsy. Roxy was his comrade in arms before they officially became Kingsman agents. However, in the middle of the event, a great tragedy occurred where all the Kingsman residences were attacked by mysterious missiles.
Agent Coulson.
Apparently, the attack was carried out by the Golden Circle. It seems Poppy and Charlie are very happy because they succeeded in destroying all Kingsman agents, and that means no one will disturb their business anymore. And in return, Poppy gives Charlie a powerful new robot hand. Meanwhile, after the mysterious missile attack, Eggsy and Merlin accuse each other because only the two of them are left. But rather than fight, they decide to work together and carry out emergency protocols that are only carried out in very urgent circumstances. Long story short, they visit the only remaining Kingsman place to look for a clue. But strangely, they only found a bottle of alcohol that read, Statesman. As a result, these two agents chose to drink the drink and surrender to the situation. However, while drinking, they actually found a clue in the bottle that led to the city of Kentucky, one of the states in the United States. Seeing that, they immediately rushed to a beverage factory there, hoping they could find other clues. And sure enough, Merlin detects that there is a hidden base underground that is the same as Kingsman's. But in the middle of the search, a cowboy suddenly attacked them. Eggsy and Merlin tried to fight the cowboy, but the cowboy was too strong. Until finally the two of them were arrested because they looked suspicious. The cowboy then began to interrogate them both. Apparently, this cowboy is a secret agent from an organization called Statesman. Not long after, a female agent came and explained that Kingsman was a colleague of the Statesman organization. After hearing her explanation, Eggsy and Merlin were released. In addition, the Statesman agent also informed that they had found a Kingsman member who was almost killed 1 year ago. And unexpectedly, it turns out that the person in question is Harry. Harry. Not wanting to waste time, the two of them immediately approached him. However, Harry experienced temporary memory loss, and that also makes Eggsy sad, even though Harry is his best mentor. So, after being shot by the terrorist leader named Valentine, Harry fell into a coma and amnesia. Later, Statesman agents managed to find the whereabouts of Harry, who was badly injured at the time. Statesman agents immediately performed a rescue to save Harry's life. But in the rescue process, Harry had to experience the side effect of temporary memory loss. And the memories that Harry remembers at this time are when he is still not a Kingsman agent. At that time, Harry was a butterfly researcher. At the same time, Poppy is seen holding a legendary singer named Elton John hostage. He was kidnapped and forced to entertain Poppy with his songs. Not long after, a blue rash appeared all over Elton's body. Apparently, he had secretly taken Poppy's drugs. In fact, the mafia boss had strictly forbidden Elton and other members not to use her drugs. This is because the drug she created is a biological weapon to slaughter all addicts in the world. On the other hand, Eggsy was brought into the Statesman's main headquarters. There, the chairman of Statesman explains about his organization. Just like Kingsman, they are also a spy agency organization that aims to eliminate evil in the world. However, they prefer to do business in alcoholic beverages. So, it's no wonder that the name of their agent is a type of drink such as whiskey, tequila, and also champagne. After that, Eggsy told his plan to find Charlie. The plan is that he will install a tracking device on Charlie's girlfriend so they will know his movements. Hearing this, the Statesman chairman agreed. He then told the cowboy named Tequila to accompany Eggsy, but strangely, a blue rash appeared on Tequila's face, similar to that experienced by Elton. Therefore, the chairman sent his best agent, Whiskey. Before carrying out this mission, Eggsy decided to visit his girlfriend first. Here, Tilda presents her boyfriend with a dog, so he won't be lonely on duty. Then Eggsy and Whiskey went to a music concert because, according to the information they got, Charlie's girlfriend was a woman who liked music performances. And sure enough, the woman they were looking for was indeed in this place. In order to install the tracker, they both need to get close to her. After Whiskey failed to seduce her, Eggsy went into action. When he succeeded in seducing her, Eggsy took pictures of some suspicious people and sent them to Merlin. Apparently, all the people photographed had the same condition as Tequila, and according to other Statesman members, Tequila likes to take drugs. Then afterwards, the Statesman female agent explained something important about Harry's recovery. In short, if he wants to recover all his memories, then he must get something related to his past, so that his memories return. Merlin then drowns Harry because before becoming a Kingsman agent, Harry had undergone a water survival test, but his attempt fails, and Harry still doesn't manage to get his memories back. The scene then moves to Poppy, who is talking to Charlie. She says that her drug business is very big, but she is still not known at all by the wider community. Therefore, she decided to create a biological weapon in order to become the most famous person in the world. It wasn't long before she called her new member, who had allegedly used her drugs without permission. Because he had broken the rules, Poppy mobilized her robot dog to eliminate the member. Later that night, Eggsy asks Tilda for permission to pretend to approach Charlie's girlfriend in order to carry out his mission. Even though he wasn't allowed to, he had to do it to find Charlie's location. And without further delay, he took Charlie's lover to the hotel, then secretly inserted a tracking device into Charlie's lover's body. The next day, Eggsy returned to headquarters to meet Harry. He wants to awaken Harry's memory by bringing a puppy. Then, Eggsy deliberately aims his gun at the dog to provoke Harry's past memories. And unexpectedly, the method succeeds in restoring all of Harry's memories, even including the memory of when he was selected to become a Kingsman agent.
Yes, Harry! He lived on ripe old age, he died of pain.
To celebrate his recovery, they gather at a bar to drink together. But in the midst of their excitement, a gangster disturbs them. Harry doesn't stay silent and gives them a lesson. Unfortunately, Harry's brutality still hasn't returned completely. As a result, Agent Whiskey immediately took over the fight and managed to defeat all the gangsters. Not long after, Poppy went live globally in a live event. She explained about the symptoms of the blue rash suffered by many people, including Agent Tequila. The point was that the blue rash was a side effect of the drugs. She also revealed that this is just the initial stage where, in the next stage, the victim will lose consciousness. After that, the victim will continue to dance non-stop, and in the last stage, they will be paralyzed to a horrible death. However, Poppy offered an antidote as the only way out. She did all this to threaten the government to fulfill her requests. First, legalize the drug trade so that she can sell it freely. Then secondly, Her Golden Circle organization must be immune to the law. Because of Poppy's threats, the whole world panicked and there was chaos everywhere. In addition, hospitals are also full of Poppy's victims, making the doctors overwhelmed. At the same time, the American president did not want to respond to Poppy's message. Instead, he wanted all the victims to die because it was their own fault. Then, he will blame Poppy, and people will stop using drugs. So, indirectly, Poppy has made the president's work program easier. Thus, he will win again in the next presidential election. On the other hand, Charlie's girlfriend also got a blue rash. And of course, it made Charlie very worried. He also suggested that his girlfriend go to Italy because Poppy had a laboratory there that made an antidote. Charlie didn't realize that his conversation had been tapped by Eggsy and his friends. They immediately rushed to the location mentioned by Charlie. There, Charlie is seen giving the antidote to his girlfriend. Meanwhile, the agents had just gotten there. They then divided the tasks, where Harry would be in charge of overseeing the control room, while Eggsy and Whiskey would take samples of the antidote. Long story short, they both managed to get into the laboratory. Eggsy then deceived one of the workers by saying that he was an employee from Singapore named Wu Ting Feng. Because the mission this time was only to take a sample of the antidote, Eggsy and Whiskey rushed to take it and immediately fled by cable car. As a result, Charlie, who saw that, also hacked the train line and made the cable car spin very fast. Luckily, Whiskey has a lasso rope weapon that can penetrate glass. They then hid in a hut while waiting for Harry. It turns out that his presence was followed by Poppy's men, and Whiskey pushed Eggsy to avoid being shot. But, unfortunately, the antidote sample fell and broke. Eggsy was actually very angry with Whiskey, but because they were surrounded, they chose to fight it out. After defeating all of Poppy's troops, not long after, Poppy sent reinforcements to finish off the 3 agents. They then tried to find a way out. But in the middle of the siege, Harry suddenly pointed his gun at Whiskey and immediately shot him in the head. Apparently, Harry had suspected Agent Whiskey since the Statesman agent pushed Eggsy, causing the antidote to break. Then afterwards, Harry immediately finished off Poppy's troops with a bomb made of perfume. When the situation was safe, Eggsy seemed angry at Harry for killing his own co-workers. Before continuing his mission, Eggsy puts oxygen plastics on Agent Whiskey's face in the hope that he can breathe again. On the other hand, the president locked up millions of drug victims in a stadium, including his personal secretary. According to him, all drug users deserve to die because they have violated the country's rules. Meanwhile, Eggsy and Harry returned to Statesman headquarters to tell them what really happened. Without regret, Harry confessed that he had killed Whiskey and suspected him of being a double agent. Hearing this, Merlin conducts several tests to confirm whether Harry has truly recovered. Not far from them, Eggsy received a video call from Tilda, but he was very surprised because his girlfriend was a victim of drug use, and now Tilda had to bear the effects of the drug. Unable to bear seeing his girlfriend in critical condition, Eggsy decided to complete his mission immediately. At the same time, Agent Whiskey manages to survive death, but like Harry, he wakes up in a state of temporary memory loss, and to recover his memory, Whiskey's colleague shows him a photo of his dead ex-girlfriend. As a result, he immediately remembers everything that happened, and without wasting any more time, he rushes to take revenge on Harry. On the other hand, Merlin has managed to track down the Golden Circle headquarters located in Cambodia. This time, Merlin no longer worked remotely as support, but joined the attack as a fighter because he really wanted to be brutal in the field. Long story short, the Kingsman agents finally arrived at the Golden Circle headquarters, but unfortunately, Eggsy accidentally stepped on a mine. Seeing this, Merlin immediately froze the mine and told Eggsy to continue the mission. At the same time, he would replace him to step on the mine before it exploded. It turns out that Merlin wants to sacrifice himself for the safety of all mankind. In addition, he also wanted to return the favor to Eggsy's father, who had helped him 18 years ago. Then, he told his 2 colleagues to immediately go to Poppy's headquarters. Even though he didn't have the heart, the mission had to be completed in order to avenge the death of the Kingsman agents. While singing his favorite song, Merlin lured the enemy troops to approach. After all the troops surrounded him, Merlin immediately detonated the mine. Afterward, Eggsy and Harry immediately attacked the Golden Circle headquarters and wouldn't let Merlin's sacrifice go to waste. It didn't take long. They managed to defeat all of Poppy's troops. Seeing what was happening, Poppy told Charlie to secure a suitcase. And as it turned out, the suitcase contained a system to spread the antidote around the world. Therefore, Poppy would not let it fall into the hands of Kingsman agents. Without wasting any time, Eggsy immediately goes after Charlie while Harry fights with Poppy's robot dog. Feeling that he is not an equal opponent, Harry runs while thinking of ways to defeat him. Unexpectedly, the robot dog is able to corner him. Luckily, Elton comes to his rescue, and it turns out the robot dog has been programmed not to attack Elton. In short, Harry managed to destroy the robot dog. At the same time, Eggsy is chasing Charlie, but instead of going away, Charlie turns around and challenges Eggsy. Because Charlie has cyborg hands, Eggsy chooses to run away and take Poppy's suitcase. Charlie, eager for revenge, took out all his anger and beat Eggsy again. But unexpectedly, Eggsy was able to turn the situation around by taking control of Charlie's cyborg hand. After defeating Charlie, Eggsy and Harry immediately took the suitcase. But, unfortunately, Poppy mobilizes another robot dog to chase them both. And inevitably, Harry must return to fight with the robot dog. Until finally Harry manages to destroy the robot dog using liquid gold. In another place, Charlie challenges Eggsy to a duel, and in order for the fight to be fair, Eggsy decides to fight with one hand, and Eggsy easily defeats Charlie.
Good night, bruv.
With the robot dog and Charlie dead, there was no one to protect Poppy. This time, she couldn't run anywhere anymore. But instead of giving up, the woman remained stubborn not to hand over her antidote release code. Inevitably, Eggsy immediately injects drugs into Poppy's body, and in the end, the drugs make Poppy unconscious and die instantly. But before she died, Poppy had given the access code to release her antidote. But when they were about to complete their mission, Whiskey came to stop them both. He then prevents the spread of the antidote and threatens to kill Eggsy and Harry. Apparently, he has a grudge against drug addicts. When he was in high school, it turned out that Whiskey's girlfriend was killed by 2 addicts, even though the woman was pregnant with his first child. So, whatever happens, he wants to slaughter the addicts with Poppy's drugs. Despite his pity, as a Kingsman agent, Eggsy chose to stop him until, finally, the fight ensued. After fighting for a long time, finally, Eggsy and Harry managed to kill Agent Whiskey. In short, Eggsy and Harry immediately spread the antidote, and once again, Agent Kingsman was able to save the world. All people affected by the side effects of drugs are then immediately cured using the antidote. The next day, the president's secretary held a press conference. She then told about the president's original intention to massacre innocent people. As a result, the president was arrested. On the other hand, the chairman of Statesman gave a reward to Agent Kingsman. In short, he will help Eggsy and Harry to build Kingsman again. And to get development money, they will get shares in the Statesman's alcoholic beverage business. At the end of the movie, Eggsy is finally married to Tilda and will soon become a prince. But since his father is no longer around, Harry agrees to be his guardian. And the movie is over. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment.